Clash Royale just announced the new upcoming work in progress balance changes, and I'm surprisingly happy with what they are doing here. They are addressing 3 cards to be buffed, among them also the mini P.E.K.K.A, and they are going over some reworks for a couple of champions and more cards, and last but not least, they are nerfing broken things as usual, but sadly also the log spell again. Don't forget to use my creator code Tryaz in the shop. Thank you very much to everyone who is doing this, and now let's go. So let's start with the buffs first of all. The first card is one of the most liked cards in the game. I already spoiled it, the mini P.E.K.K.A. Mini P.E.K.K.A was one of the less used card in the game right now, especially in top ladder. Of course, in mid ladder some players still use mini P.E.K.K.A always when they don't use Mega Knight and P.E.K.K.A and Sparky for some reason. But in top ladder, mini P.E.K.K.A was only played 2 times in the top 100, and this is quite less. So what is Clash Royale doing with mini P.E.K.K.A? They are aiming the hit points this time. They are not increasing the damage as last time, as I remember, but this time they will do 5% more hit points for the mini P.E.K.K.A, which means, yeah, he is a bit more tanky, going from 1361 to 1433 HP. Great choice. Clash Royale mini P.E.K.K.A is a loved card. We like to see buffs on mini P.E.K.K.A. Card number 2 is a big skeleton. I'm talking about the giant skeleton. Giant skeleton also only played 2 times in the top 100 right now, and yeah, definitely a bad card compared to other cards, other tanky cards like Goblin Giant, P.E.K.K.A maybe, and so on. Also Boss Battle, for example. Giant skeleton right now, the bomb is not that good. It has solid damage and solid health, but overall it's not performing very well in ladder. So what are they gonna do here? They are increasing the damage by 4%. It's not that much, but it will now deal 10 damage more on level 11, and this could maybe boost some decks like the Giant Skeleton Piggy deck or Royal Giant decks with Giant Skeleton, because now you just play Evil Witch or Queen Cycle in these Piggy decks, but maybe Giant Skeleton can get a nice comeback here. You probably remember the sneaky golem picture they posted on all their social media platforms, the cannon with a golem inside of it and then calling it sneaky. This was actually teaser to the balance changes, but not for the golem itself. It's for the mini golem that stays in his shadow. It's a sneaky buff by 12%. They are going for the hit points, increasing them from 1198 to 1433, which is a big buff. Usually the main function of the ice golem was to be a mini pack, often played in 2.6 and also Loon Cycle, same as right now. Especially the Loon Cycle deck is a bit popular. Some pros use it, but not because of the ice golem. It's more because of the Miner and Loon Cycle and the Evo Musketeer. But now things will change, because previously Knight and Mighty Miner were the better option to choose a tank, and this time we have a 2 elixir card, so a cheaper cycle card with way more hit points than before, and maybe this can replace some cycle decks, for example on Lockbait, still of course in 2.6 and Loon Cycle, but maybe we will see some new variations coming out really soon. Then we are going to the reworks, and these ones are very interesting, and I'm a big fan of them. First of all, the Monk. A powerful champion, especially when you have a good matchup and you can reflect a lot of projectiles. But let's be real, overall it was always matchup dependent, and this is something that is bad for a card. A card should never be completely matchup depending, but in this case Monk is a card like this. If you don't have projectiles, the card is not that good. To change this a little bit, Monk will get 3% more life. But here's the reason why. They are reducing the damage reduction from 80 to 70% only, which means if you play Elite Barbarians on it, the Monk will die a bit quicker than before, so he can no longer be used that brain dead in front of a push and tanking everything away. It's now a bit easier to kill him, and yeah, this will probably nerf Monk in a way. I think this is more a nerf instead of a buff to him, but I think a fair one, as Monk was too matchup depending, and this could maybe balance this a bit. The next change is for the Boss Bandit. Boss Bandit is extremely broken. She has a lot of HP, and always using this ability to dash backwards makes her sometimes very annoying. And to make these things not too complicated, I know more and more players are playing the game, and when they discover Boss Bandit, they usually don't understand the ability, and it's quite weird that you have to wait until 50% lower HP and then you can use the second ability. This is something they are gonna change now, because Boss Bandit will get a cooldown with 5 seconds. But this not means you can spam the ability endlessly. You only have 2 abilities that you can use, which makes it way more easier to defend low damage pushes, as you can charge and then you charge again into it by using the ability 2 times. But she will suffer against pushes that have bigger damage, because now you have to wait these 5 seconds to dash backwards and attack again. But this is a great change, to be honest, because it was very annoying when you were close before 50%, making the dash below 50% and another dash, and you had no control about it. Now you can control the defense against her as well, and this is the right way Clash Royale is going here. The next rework is for Rascals, and Rascals are one of the most untouched cards by players, as they are too expensive for the value they bring. One log and this push is demolished. The boy was the tank and the girls most likely the damage dealer, and yeah, when there's no damage, the card usually falls off until this upcoming change. So what is Clash Royale doing? There's a big buff for the Rascal Boy. The Rascal Boy will deal 54% more damage, going from 133 to 204. Insane damage buff. But the girls will now deal less damage, only 6% reduced, going to 125, which is not that much of a nerf to the girls, but a big buff to this Rascal Boy, which is overall a big buff to this card, and you can no longer ignore this Rascal Boy. Last but not least, we are jumping into the nerfs, and the first nerf is for Icebird. Icebird is one of the most played cards in cycle decks, especially when we're talking about pros. The card is that strong for only 1 elixir that they lately nerfed the evolution already, and now they are nerfing this little guy again. I mean, what can he do if Supercell makes him that strong, right? This time the damage will stay. Instead, they are nerfing something that is a part of him, his freeze duration. Surely this was the strongest feature when using him. Freezing, stop attacking and resetting was quite powerful and will now be shorter. The time will be decreased by 8%, going from 1.2 seconds to 1.1 seconds. Casuals will probably not even notice the nerf, but especially for the pro scene where everyone is familiar with this card and the freeze timing now has to face this drastic change and will 100% lead to a lot of mistakes in the first days. Okay, now let's guess the next card. It's green, it's a part of a very annoying recruit stack and mostly played in decks that smashes 1000 rockets on your tower. It's the Evolution Goblin Barrel. Well, and this card is probably one of the most annoying cards, especially when you want to play for chill and then this spams everywhere, you choke your spells and you crash out. The barrel will now fly in slow motion, and I'm kidding, sorry guys. Now, the decoy barrel will deal less damage. They nerf it by 26%, going from 120 to 89, and this is quite a lot. Anyways, this nerf was definitely needed. If we just look at how many players use it right now, the Goblin Barrel itself stays untouched, so it's a fair nerf here. The second last card Clash Royale is nerfing is the Evo Witch again, and it's again the same function as before, heal per skeleton. She will now heal 12% less, so if you have a low life witch and you play a Skami or skeletons at the bridge and you kill them, she will not heal that fast anymore, and I'm sure this is a good nerf to not make this random card too broken. Last but not least, our most favorite spell will get another nerf. Yes, it is the log, and this time it's not only the crown tower damage but also the normal damage. They nerfed the log by 9% less damage, which is 4 HP less on the tower and goes from 289 to 263 damage on units. And the biggest concern that players will have is that Log barely killed the shield of cards, the Princess, the Dart Goblin and Rascals, and when they now nerf the damage, they are no longer one shot, right? Don't worry guys, Log will deal 2 HP more damage, so it can still take down all the cards. But anyways, it's a big nerf to Log. What do you think about it? Comment your thoughts, the feedback can have impact on the final changes. Thank you very much and see you in the arena.